Let's see what we're dealing with. We're having some buffering issues today. Uh, let's see. All right, it looks like we're coming back in. But you know me, I have to see it first, especially if there's buffering. All right. Looks like we're back. Looks like we're back. But yeah, all right. It's saying that we're looking good. Hopefully the buffering is a thing of the past. We had a little hiccup there. It happens. Let me go ahead and close out here and see how we're doing. Let me check the chat. Uh let's see. All right. It looks like let me say something here. Somebody show me give me a sign. What's up? How's everything coming in? We had a false start with the stream where we were buffering. The internet was saying not today. I still have water. All right, so I'll keep an eye on things. It's saying it's looking good on my end, but sometimes it'll say it's good on my end and it's not good to the world. The internet's lying to all of us. The internet's like, "Yeah, you're good." And then people watching, they're like, "It's not good. Somebody's fucking with us." The internet gods are saying no. Why are they doing that? Well, I'm Ron Placone, and hopefully I'm a non-buffering, buffer-free Ron. And this is the patron stream. This is where I respond directly to the patrons, and the replay of this stream is only available on Patreon or Rockfin, and I respond directly to the patrons. If you're catching this live and you're thinking, I want to be a patron, how do I do that? Well, you go, I just hit myself in the face with the mic again. God damn it. This is a new microphone that I'm very happy about, but because I'm clumsy, I'll occasionally just knock myself. I think I gotta apply the windscreen a little better too. I gotta fix that up a little bit, which I'll do. But yeah. Anyway, so the replay, the replay of the stream is only available on Patreon, and to join, patreon.com/romplacone. If you are on stable ground for a give what you can level, you get the replay of this stream. You get a patron Zoom show once a week. That's a Zoom show only available to patrons and Rockfin members. And I will make you a theme song. How much does that cost, you ask? It's all a give what you can level. And everyone gets all the same stuff. Some people, they email me and they're like, well, how much for the theme song? How much is that? No. For the theme song, if you are a patron, all you have to do is ask. And I add you to the list. Now, keep in mind, it's going to take a minute because there's a lot of people waiting on theme songs, and I get to them as quickly as I can. But if you are a patron, you get a theme song. My Patreon does not have tiers. It is a give what you can level. There's just one tier. It's pay what you can. So even an extra $1 or $2 a month goes a long way. So yeah, I am kissing the mic. I am kissing that mic because I love it. Someone say they left to become a Patreon and then there's no stream. Well, hey, after the stream, sign up, patreon.com/Ron Placone. Lucy's cat toy is here because this is a laser pointer for a cat. And Lucy loves this freaking thing. And she was super excited yesterday. She was just so excited yesterday. And she kept wanting to play. So I brought her cat toy over here, and I was just playing with her from my desk here, because she was just she had a lot of energy yesterday. I don't know why. Was it a full moon or something? I don't even know. But anyway, let me get back to where we were. So for those of you just tuning in, we had a false start on the stream. It was buffering pretty bad, and then it just went dead. The stream just told me, you're done. And I was like, okay, I guess the stream's over. What are you going to do? It happens. I'm thirsty. And I still drink water from mason jars. Some people said that after I got married, the mason jars were going to go away, which is partially true. There's only like 1 or 2 left. My wife got rid of most of them, but a few have been salvaged, and I still shamelessly drink from them. It's my, the barefoot hippie is still alive and well. Still alive and well. So anyway, let me get back to where we were here. Chris up in Central California shared this with us. Chris, I hope you're well, and I hope you're enjoying that theme song I made for you. Um, so this happened. Late bid unlikely to stop church purchase of Tower Theater. So there's this legendary Tower Theater in Fresno, California. And according to Sarah Silverman on Twitter, because she's trying to rally a bunch of people together to buy it from the church, um, the church, is an anti-LGBTQ church. And this theater is a very LGBTQ friendly theater that is in one of the most LGBTQ friendly areas of town. I'm not super familiar with Fresno, but apparently that's the case. So it's pretty depressing. I mean, it's that's a pretty depressing sentiment that hey, in the arts and cultural district that is friendly to all, we are now going to have a homophobic church. Which admittedly, I don't know a ton about the Adventure Church. It sounds like it should be an amusement park, not a church. But nonetheless, they are a church, and they're buying this historic theater to put a church there, which is sad on many levels. It's it's one of my biggest fears, and I've talked about this before. We've all talked about this before. Is that we're gonna, and I guess maybe calling it my biggest fear is a bit of an overstatement, but you know what I mean. We're gonna walk around our neighborhoods when this is all over, and every single building is going to be a Starbucks or a Cheesecake Factory. That is my biggest fear. And that was especially my fear when I still lived in Pasadena, because Pasadena, cool part of town. I loved living in Pasadena. Had a very happy time there. Met my wife there, but it's a little more, I guess, corporate for like. God damn it! I just brushed the mic again. So bright. It's a new. Getting used to it. But anyway, Pasadena's a little more corporate. So I'd walk around and I'd see like the chains doing okay. And I'm worried about it. Like I'm like, man, what if all of the independent bars and venues and businesses, what if they're all just gone and it's just a bunch of corporatocracy places that are still standing. And it's like that movie Demolition Man where everything is a Taco Bell. Like what if everything is a Taco Bell? I personally don't care for Taco Bell. I don't really care for chains in general. I try to avoid them to the best of my ability. And honestly, I guess I typically do. And I'm not judging. I know some people that's like the only thing around you or whatever. And that's, so I'm not business shaming anybody. But what I am saying is, you have this big fear that everything that's going to remain is just a bunch of corporate chains because they can afford to remain. And all the independent venues and businesses are just going to be gone, especially theaters. Now, I think in this case, this was like a big theater. It's not like this was like a small theater, but nonetheless, it's still a depressing sentiment. And I guess we might be buffering again. So, all right. Let me know if we're still going or if we're just buffered and that's it. Because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if we're still live. It's telling me we're fine, but you know, is this live? Is this not? No buffer. Okay, we're good at the moment. A little buffering, not too bad. All right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll just try to plow through it. That's the best I got. I mean, everything's saying it's good on my end. And let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I mean, I'm running things as low key as I can, folks. I really am. Hopefully, it's just a little hiccup that's temporary, and we're gonna be good through the rest of the stream. Yeah, we have had some issues this morning. I appreciate everyone's patience. The buffering gods are angry. I pissed off Poseidon in a dream. In a dream, Poseidon was like, I can buffer you. And I said, no, you can't. And as I was sailing away, I said, listen, Poseidon, it is Ron Placone who has outwitted you and outsmarted you. And the blind Poseidon said, a pox on Ron Placone. I will buffer him on the patron stream. And I'm sorry about that, guys. I did that in my subconscious. I can't be held accountable. Well, I can be. It's my fault. And I am sorry for that. But we're going to do what we can. And just know that this is my hubris causing this. I angered Poseidon in a dream last night. And I said, Poseidon, huh? And he said, you drink your water from that mason jar, Placone, and I'm going to buffer you. I am going to buffer you. The internet's going to say no. Well, okay. Okay. Chris, this news is shitty. I don't want to see a homophobic church replace a theater in a very gay-friendly arts district. That saddens me. And, you know, it's not a big surprise that churches, especially it looks like this is a pretty, like maybe this is a mega church type deal. Churches, by the way, don't pay a dime in taxes, yet they get a bunch of benefits. They get to use streets. They get to use public facilities all the time. And it's not right. We have a separation of church and state, quote unquote, when it's convenient. When it's convenient for the church, i.e., no paying taxes, we got a separation of church and state. When it's inconvenient, like if they want to influence policy or influence voters, or if they want to use public services, then all of a sudden, there's no separation of church and state. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? And look, if you got personal beliefs, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But know that this corruption is real. And of course, some churches are worse than others, sure. And, I think it's safe to say these mega style churches are the biggest offenders, where, you see these pastors with like all these fleets of cars and these huge mansions, and it's like a stadium show when they do their service. And, I've read the Bible. I'm pretty sure Jesus was not a fan of any of that stuff. I'm pretty sure that guy that they worship, not a fan of any of that. He was actually against all of that. Some of you are asking, what do they intend to do with the building? Well, I think they're going to make a church. And here, we'll go a little further. It says, so we're fully invested, Adventure Church senior pastor Anthony Flores says. So they have a senior pastor and junior pastors, I guess. The sale of the property is expected to close mid-February. So it might have closed already. We're almost getting to mid-February. I guess technically we're a few days away from mid-February. Keep in mind, February, short month. So now apparently I saw something that there's going to be some issues with them having services. But here, let me see if I can scroll to that. Okay, so the church's desire to buy the property ignited a debate about zoning. The city of Fresno and some members of the city council say that Adventure Church would need a rezone to hold services at the tower. So I'm assuming they want to hold services there. That's why I'm thinking they're kind of a mega church. This place holds 761 people. So if they want to hold services there, I'm assuming they're a mega church style thing. But you know what's crazy? I personally don't know anybody that goes to one of those. You know what I mean? At least not anybody in California. But hey, I used to live in Nashville, Tennessee, Tennessee is one of the church capitals. There's like a buttload of churches everywhere. In fact, when I was in Nashville, that was the first time I discovered, well, not discovered, like I knew about it, but I didn't know everything about it, where there's all these churches where people are actually atheists. Like that's a thing where it's like they just kind of celebrate the principles of Christianity, but they're not, they're just not anyway. Um because there was actually this speaker for the oh, what was it? There was this organization. It was the separation of it was something for the separation of church and state, and there was the speaker, and the speech actually took place, ironically, at a church, but it was this church. I think it was like some branch of Unitarianism where they actually have like they have members who don't have any religious beliefs at all. Like they have, I don't know. It's interesting to me. I mean, and to each their own. I mean, maybe to some people they just value the community of it all, but they don't have religious beliefs. Which, I mean, my personal perspective is, well, then why not just join a community outreach group or something like that? Why not just join? Why do you need a church anyway? So yeah, but so that just shows you how many churches there are in Tennessee. But my point is, even when I lived out there, I didn't know anybody who attended a mega church. Like I don't know. I had a couple friends who had well, just like one friend really, but I did have one friend who he was a pastor at like one of those grassroots churches where it was like sort of like a startup church type deal. And he was a good guy, and we talked shop, and we recognized that we didn't agree on everything, but we still respected each other's points of view and we're friends. And he's a good guy, I we're still friends to this day. And we would have he would always give me a disclaimer whenever he invited me to hang out. Like he'd be like, so there's gonna be some friends from my church there, but we're not gonna be doing Jesus stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're my friend, man. Like, I'm not, we have our disagreements. That's okay. I don't have to, I'm not one of these people. I can only hang out with people whose religious views are the same as mine. I'm not one of those people. I don't have religious views, really. I'm part of the church if I don't know, and neither do you. So let's just be nice to each other. Those are my religious beliefs. I don't know, neither do you. Let's just let's just not be dicks. Can we just do that? Can we just not be dicks? Don't be a dick. How about you don't buy a historic theater for your tax scam mega church that's homophobic? That's being a dick. That's a dick thing to do. We shouldn't do that. So I mean, I hope they stop this thing. I really do, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. But thank you for sharing that, Chris. And I guess that Sarah Silverman was not successful in her effort to buy it, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, don't be a dick. The Church of Ron. What if a bunch of people gathered in the name of the "Don't Be a Dick" ministry and bought the theater, and then just kept it as it is, a frickin' theater? If it's a historic theater, keep it as it is. Keep it as a theater. That's what I say. There we go. Don't be a dick. The Ron Church. Aspen, thank you for that shout out. Aspen saying smash that like button. Please do smash that like button. And again, for anyone just tuning in, this is the patron stream where I respond directly to the stuff that the patrons send me. We just responded to patron Chris, which Chris, I hope you're enjoying your theme song. I wrote a theme song for Chris and his Sig O. And Chris mentioned that they might use it at their wedding, which I hope you do that, man. I really do. I mean, you don't have to. Like there might be a more ideal song you want to use than the little ditty I wrote for you. But if you want to use it, that'd be really cool. I made it slow for you, so you could walk down the aisle to the theme song I made for you. I feel like you could do that. My our first dance, my wife and I, our first dance was "I Want to Be Your Dog" by Iggy Pop and the Stooges. Maybe I'm being serious. Maybe I'm not. Is that the truth? What do you guys think? Do you think that's the truth? Am I telling the truth? Was our first dance really "I Want to Be Your Dog" by? No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't. It was. It was. I'm trying to think of another. I'm trying to think of another one that was a funny thing to say. The first thing that came to my head was it was "Thick as a Brick" by Jethro Tull, but I cannot take credit for that line because that's something that Billy Corgan said. Billy Corgan, who politically is a little nuts, but I like the guy's music. But Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, he he said in an interview once that he lost his virginity to "Thick as a Brick" by Jethro Tull. And everybody wondered if that was true or not. And I don't know if he ever said one way or another. I think he just sort of left it there. He never said if if he actually did that. So did he or didn't he? I guess we'll never know. Unless, of course, he did say, and I just haven't seen it. But did Ron walk down the aisle to "I Want to Be Your Dog"? Or didn't he? I don't know. Did he dance to "I Want to Be Your Dog" or didn't he? The world may never know. The world may never know. Thank you for that, Chris, and I hope all is well. Let's see here. Greg, what's up, buddy? Hey, Ron, I won't be able to make it this Thursday, unfortunately. And you bring up a personal message you sent to me. I had fun the last 3 times. He's referring to the Zoom shows that I do for the patrons. And I'm sorry for hijacking your show. You didn't hijack it, man. You didn't hijack it. You just, there are times where I talk to people and I break it down and we talk and you and I talked. It's all good. The one time you had a lot to say and it was okay. It was totally okay. One love. Back at you, Greg. One love and take care of yourself and be safe. All right. Just make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're eating right. And try not to let what's going on in the world get to you too much, man, because, you gotta take care of yourself. And if you're not doing that, you can't take care of anyone else. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's the plane theory, the airplane theory. They tell you put your own mask on before you help other people. Well, there's a reason for that. If your own mask isn't on, you can't help other people. You know what I mean? So make sure you're taking care of yourself, buddy. And I'm rooting for you. Let's see. We'll go to Pazia Moores next. What's up, Pazia Moores? I hope all is well in the Midwest. I hope you all are staying safe. And I can't wait to see you, not just on the Zoom, but I can't wait to see you all in person again. I know that you came out to the Indianapolis show when I did that show in Indy, which, man, that feels like forever ago, but it was only 2019, I'm pretty sure. God, I miss touring so much. Do I mention that like all the time? Does Ron miss touring? He only mentions it like every fucking day. He only mentions it like all the time. All the frickin' time. And you guys are talking about some prog rock in the chat, which makes me so happy. Smash that like button, please, folks. And feel free to talk more about prog rock. You guys know I'd love. The patron streams often go off on music. And that could not make me happier. I know some of you don't, I am of the belief that music and politics and culture and politics and everything else is really intertwined like peas and carrots, that they all go together. And some of you are of that like mind. Some of you maybe not as much. And some of you are getting there. Some of you have messaged me and told me that you're more into music now because of this show, which just warms my heart. Warms my heart very much. And it makes me and I know there's a lot of music you guys have sent to me that I need to check out, and I'm getting to it. I'm guilty of just leaning on my comfort food these days. You know what I mean? Literally and figuratively. I've not been eating the best. I'm not gonna lie. I've not been eating the best. But I justify to myself by saying it's better than booze. First of all, and second of all, the same thing goes with music. There's some music that I listen to every day because it just helps me get through it all. It really does. So, but I try not to just lean on my comfort food. I try to expand my horizons. There's a lot of great music out there, and I'm trying to make sure I listen to all of it. Feel better, Ron? I feel fine. Thank you, though. I mean, I appreciate that. But I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm. You don't need to worry about me. You need to worry. Um, and seriously, I'm not being facetious right now. I'm being very sincere. But this is a time where you got to look out for your friends and look out for your family and make sure folks are okay. And that is important. That is very important. Um, it is very, very valuable to kind of just look around your community and say, what can I do to help? And try to help if you can. And not just in your community, but also in your friends who maybe they're far away. I mean, I know most of my friends, we're far away from each other physically, but we really do need to look out for each other. And yeah, so I try to do that, and I know y'all do as well. And it's important that we all do our best. And I've been connecting virtually, of course. I've been connecting with some more activists in the San Pedro area where I live. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to trying to figure out more ways that I can help. Um, you know, so anyway, enough about that. Let me get back to the patrons here. This is from Pazia Morse. Let me get back to the thing here. I got to stop hitting myself in the face with the mic. I got to stop it. All right. Here is, I don't even know what this article is about, by the way. DJI and Dragonfly tried to use the pandemic to get law enforcement to use more drones. Of course they did. Of course they did. In April, as COVID-19 cases exploded across the U.S. and local officials scrambled for solutions, a police department in Connecticut tried a new way to counter the spread of the virus. One morning, as mass shoppers left, the police department flew a drone overhead. Of course. Of course. Why wouldn't they try to weaponize this again? Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they do that? Of course. And there's something to be said for using technology constructively to help us during the pandemic. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Using technology in a constructive manner in cooperation with one another, that's a good thing. In other words, if somebody, let's say with COVID, and they, in conjunction with their phone company or something like that, gauges in a contact trace for them specifically, and they're doing it so that they can contact everybody, well, okay. That's not bad. However, when Silicon Valley companies use this to have over surveillance, and when police are using this to have more drones in the sky, that's when it's not good. That's when it's not good. That's the difference. And I know that y'all know the difference between two things. But if you're not sure, you can check out the clip that I did with Shahid Buttar, where we talk about that. Okay, is the mic not working now? So some of you guys are saying the mic's not working. Well, that's not good. Um, hmm. It's been a day today. I don't know what's going on with you guys hear me. Mic is fine. It's fine. I hear you. Okay. That's weird. I don't know why it would do that. Aw, thank you. You guys are telling me I sound lovely. Sorry that today's weird, but folks, in the spirit of Bill Riley, we're doing it live. Bill O'Reilly. I called him Bill Riley. Bill O'Reilly. We're doing it live. We're doing, instead of freaking out on like a crew like he did. Remember when that happened? That was a long time ago at this point. But Bill O'Reilly, he freaked out on his crew and said we're doing it live. I'll freak out on like nobody because I have no crew, and then I'll shine a cat toy. We're doing it live. That's me shaking a cat toy. Ah! Silicon Valley over surveillance. That's bad. So, of course, they're using it. Of course, hey, we have a pandemic. How can we weaponize this? Awesome. All right. So, thank you for that, Pazzy Moores. And I hope you all are doing well. Nina, what's up, buddy? A naive Canadian asks, is Newsom really as bad as Trudeau? Fair question. As the article concludes, the difference perhaps is that while Canada's Liberal plot a re-election on the theory that Canadians will forgive almost anything from well-meaning progressives who say the right thing, Californians aren't quite as soft-hearted. I'd imagine we're a little more. That's an interesting. Well, here, let me see what it says. We'll go into some of it. I don't know if I would say Kelly McFarland. Trudeau's just lucky Canadians are more soft-hearted than Californians, out to recall their governor. Gavin Newsom is facing the threat of a recall vote over a pandemic response, not unlike our Liberal governments. Okay. Gavin Newsom is one of those politicians who says all the right things on all the right issues. He is very progressive. That's not true. One of the most left-wing governors in the history of a state with a propensity for electing left-wing leaders. Okay. I don't know if this is written by a Canadian, but I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick here. If you think that there is anywhere in the United States that is remotely progressive, I encourage you to move here. You're going to call our leaders left wing. Move here. Your tune will change real quick. Real quick. You know a progressive place in the United States? There is none. There are some places that are better than others, sure. But to say that California has a history of left-wing leaders, compared to what? Compared to other places in the United States, sure. Compared to pretty much any other democratic experiment in the world, no. So no offense, Canadian columnist. Who's the author of this piece? Kelly McFarland. No offense, Kelly. I get what you're saying, but no. Gavin Newsom is not a left-wing leader. Gavin Newsom is not a left-wing governor. If you are on the left, you don't have any representation in the United States. You have zero, pretty much zero representation in government. And you have zero power. That's for damn sure. So, no, he's not a left-wing leader. The environment is a huge issue with him. You should see all the drilling permits. Probably the hugest if it weren't for the pandemic that has engulfed California in the same way it's overwhelmed Canada. If you think it's as bad in the Canada as it is in the United States, again, Kelly, spend some time here. Kelly, I feel like this might be a case of you don't know how good you have it. I'm not saying Canada's perfect. It's not. I know Canada's not perfect. I know Justin Trudeau's not perfect. Far from it. I'm actually not a big fan of the guy. But anyway, he's battling the virus with everything he's got. Okay. Kelly, tell you what, we could trade places, okay? We'll trade places. I'll go up to Canada. You come down to the US and you tell me how awesome Gavin Newsom is, okay? Kelly, I think you might need to spend some time. And by the way, I'm not saying, and I get it, I'm not in Canada. I get that. So I'm not trying to say Canada is some utopia. It's not, and I know that. But I'd be willing to bet a lot that holy shit, y'all are doing better than we are. I mean, I'm sorry. And I think most Canadians would agree with that. I'd like to think most Canadians would read some of what you're saying there and think this is a little off base. I'm sorry. Maybe we're just less forgiving here in the States, but I doubt it because we are programmed to expect the absolute bare minimum. In other words, hey, if you tweet nice, do whatever you want in government. And we are programmed to just accept shitty or shittier. So I actually don't think that Canadians would tolerate the bullshit that we have here. I really don't. I could be wrong. But as far as comparing Gavin Newsom to Trudeau, I see a lot of comparisons. I mean, they're both kind of neoliberally, and they both say the right things on the environment while also, being friendly to the oil companies. I can't speak as much to Trudeau's direct involvement as much as I can to Newsom, but I know that Newsom has, he'll talk about getting us off of fuel powered vehicles or fossil fuel powered vehicles, while at the same note approve a bunch of fracking permits. So yeah, I see the comparison. As far as, he's trying his best. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he's trying his best. I think he's trying to look out for business interests more than he's looking out for California. I think it's sad we're the 5th largest GDP in the frickin' world, and we can't have single payer healthcare. I think it's we didn't do as good as we should have as far as the distribution of PPE was concerned. It's sad we didn't do better. Every single resident should have gotten masks. That should have happened. It didn't. So if you're going to sit here and say Newsom's doing his best, come spend some time here. Come spend some time here and say that. I doubt you would. With all due respect, I doubt you would. I doubt you would. Let me make sure I read that right. He's battling with everything. It's really, even though California. Oh yeah, okay. Just so they are referring to Gavin Newsom. Again, come spend some time here. I mean, sometimes, and I'm not trying to, again, I understand nowhere's perfect. I understand that. But, if you're going to pat our politicians on the back right now, and you're somewhere else that is doing infinitely better than we are, stay in your lane on this one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't tell us that our politicians are doing their best. They're not, and we know it. They're not. Gavin Newsom is not doing his best. Gavin Newsom is a corporate-friendly governor who talks nice, and that's about the extent of it. And we know this. There should have been a better PPE rollout here. There should be better distribution. Our distribution's been garbage here in California. He's been issuing fracking permits. Gavin Newsom is not doing his best. And if this is his best, he doesn't deserve his job. That's for damn sure. And I didn't vote for him. I was for Delane Easton. I didn't support Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Yeah, they're not trying their best here in California. They're not. And nowhere else. Nowhere else in the United States either. Some of you were asking about his recall. I mean, again, it's like, who would we replace him with, though? I mean, if you're just going to replace him with another, the same, more of the same, then what are we gaining? We're not really gaining anything. So, we'll see what happens there. I mean, I don't think it has a shot of going anywhere. I don't think it will go anywhere, but who knows? And but again, it's like, well, what are you gonna replace him with? So anyway, I guess to answer your question, yeah, I think they're very similar, Newsom and Trudeau. And Chris responds to him, Newsom is sure the stereotypical wolf in sheep's clothing. I think that's fair. That's what Chris says to Nina. But yeah, I don't think it's a matter, responding to the opinion piece you shared, I don't think it's a matter of Californians not being as soft-hearted. I think it's a matter of we're failing miserably here as a nation, and we know it. And we see people getting nothing. By the way, in Canada, they got an emergency UBI. We didn't get that in the United States. So to the author of this piece, y'all got an emergency UBI in Canada. We didn't get that in the United States. And I know it wasn't perfect. I know that there were some people that got left out. But $2,000 a month compared to absolutely nothing, which is what we got here in the United States. A one-time FU payment, a two-time FU payment. And now they're debating about a third one-time FU payment. And then this super complicated unemployment situation. Whereas in Canada, for the most part, y'all just had an emergency UBI. Meanwhile, we have been giving trillions to Wall Street. We've been bailing out industries that promised not to lay people off, and they did anyway. Now, of course, this isn't all Gavin Newsom's fault. Of course it's not. He's a governor. But that's what the United States has been doing as a whole. So no, it's not that we're soft-hearted. It's that we see our government not failing miserably, but just revealing itself to be a complete corporate coup. And you see that at the state level and at the federal level. And I would actually argue it's the opposite. I don't think Canadians would tolerate the system we have here. I really don't think they would. Because you're used to a lot better. And again, you're not perfect. I'm not saying that you're some utopia. You're not. But are you better than the United States politically? You damn right you are. Yeah, you are. I'm sorry. You just are. So I cordially disagree with this opinion piece. He's trying his best. Come here and say that. Spend some time here and tell us how he's trying his best. He's trying his best haphazardly, changing the rules and screwing people over while giving them nothing. Well, giving them nothing. Small businesses were left out in the lurch. It'd be one thing if they were taken care of. If they were taken care of, that'd be totally different. But no, they were just left out. They were just left out in the lurch. And there's a rent crisis, and he's doing nothing. And there were no vacancy promises that were made in California to help the homeless that have been grossly underdelivered on. And by the way, there's no reason for it. There's no reason why they couldn't have delivered on this. We have the resources to do it. Again, 5th largest GDP in the world. And we couldn't do anything about the homeless crisis during a pandemic. We couldn't distribute masks to people during a pandemic. He mishandled our PPE. Governor Newsom did that during a pandemic. So, no, he's not trying his best. He's not trying his best, nor is he deserving of any sympathy. So that's what I think. Joseph, what's up, buddy? What's up, Joseph? I hope you're doing well. And you share this with me. I heard about this, and you say that this is lame. This is pretty bummer, dude. South Dakota judge strikes down voter passed marijuana measure, which I don't like marijuana as a word. Call it cannabis or at least call it pot. We shouldn't say marijuana anymore. It's part of the drug war propaganda. A South Dakota judge ruled Monday that a voter-approved constitutional amendment, which would have legalized cannabis for recreational use, was in itself unconstitutional, setting up a legal fight that put Governor Kristi Noem, a Republican, against her own constituents. So apparently it's unconstitutional to do what the majority of people want. And it's unconstitutional to legalize a plant. That's interesting. Where's that in the Constitution? Where is that? South Dakota voters approved the Amendment A, which legalized it for recreation by 54 to 46%, and a separate ballot measure legalizing cannabis for medicinal purposes approved with almost 70%. They're going to take this to the Supreme Court. Now, how did they rule that this was unconstitutional? Let me see if it goes on to say. How can they possibly make the case that this is unconstitutional? State attorney. So the office is still reviewing the decision. Man, that's the mental gymnastics they had to do. And I'm not a lawyer, but the mental gymnastics they had to do to rule that somehow that was unconstitutional. People voted for it. It's a plant. How is that unconstitutional? Find it in the Constitution where they're like, don't legalize a plant. There's a plant that grows that, by the way, would solve a ton of our freaking problems. Hemp would do a ton for our society. So much. But you can't legalize this. It's in the Constitution. First of all, yeah, even if it was, well, time to amend that puppy. Time to amend that puppy, even if it wasn't the Constitution, which I'm pretty sure it isn't. Find that part of I don't have the Constitution memorized. I admit that. Find the part of the Constitution that says, hey, cannabis, no. Smash that like button. We're just a few away from 100. Get it over 100, folks. Get it over 100. That would be a party. That would be a party. So Joseph, thank you for sharing that. I guess we'll see what this happens. It's supposed to go up to the Supreme Court, which I hope it does. And I hope they also appeal this, because I don't know how can you even make that case? Oh, it's unconstitutional. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. We got it over 100. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I'll tell you what. If that is in the Constitution, somehow that is in the Constitution, that there's a problem with cannabis, I'll tell you what, that part of the Constitution, we need to tear it out, roll it up, and smoke it, and rewrite that puppy. That's what we got to do. It's meant to be an evolving document. So these people that put the Constitution on some pedestal, it's like, look, there's some cool stuff in the Constitution, sure, but it's meant to be an evolving document. That's how it was written. So we got to evolve with it. We got to amend it. We got to change it. And guess what? It's not necessarily cast in stone. And it was written by people who also would back up 10 feet and then fire guns at each other to solve their problems. So maybe, just maybe, we should accept the fact that they don't walk on frickin' water. Hey, the people who would shoot each other with guns to solve their problems, who would walk 10 paces and then shoot each other. I mean, maybe something was in the water. Maybe they really needed more cannabis, although I'm pretty sure they had it back then. But maybe they needed to smoke it more. Which, by the way, pot started as a food ingredient in China. They used it to season their frickin' food. It's a plant. It's a plant that I enjoy very much. And I'm glad I can enjoy it legally where I'm at here in California, where apparently we don't honor the Constitution in And again, I mean, hey, that is one of the things I'm thankful for here in California. So to Kelly, the Canadian columnist, I appreciate you. I think you're just sugarcoating how things are going right here. But we do have great weather and legal pot, and I'm thankful for it. So I'm not trying to make it out like it's all doom and gloom. I'm not trying to make it out like it's all doom and gloom. It's not. I mean, hey, palm trees and pot. That's what we got here in California. And Placone. Huh? So there's that. All right. So let me go ahead and thank all the patrons once again. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Greg. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you, Pazia Morris. Thank you so much, Nina. Thank you for sharing that. And I hope all is well up in Canada, where, again, I know Canada is no utopia, but your columnists up there need to realize that things are pretty bad here. And our politicians do not deserve to be patted on the back right now. What they do all deserve, every single one of them, is to be fired. I am for replacing all of them. I am for just replacing the entire federal government with a people's legislature. I'm for it. I think there's no way it could possibly be shittier than what we have now. It would just cut out the middleman. It would just be the people versus Wall Street instead of the people and then these representatives who shield Wall Street. Just cut out the middleman. So anyway, but thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. It's interesting to see how other columnists are painting what's going on here in the U.S. And Joseph, thank you, buddy. My editor, Joseph. Get Your News On with Ron would not be possible without Joseph. So your support helps him as well and helps keep this show on the air. Man, yeah. And Jethro Tull, right? You know, oh, this is gnarly. We're at a moment. I got to take a screenshot of this. At the moment, we have exactly 116 people watching and 116 likes. Up, it just went. Never mind. It just changed. It just went down a little bit, and we got 117 likes. I missed the screenshot. That's okay though. It was what we'll tell you what we need 2 more viewers, and then actually keep hitting the button. Screw it. But maybe we'll get view. Maybe it'll match up again, and if it does, I'll take another picture. I'll take a picture if it gets. Right now we're 117 to 119. 2 likes away from what? Let's get to 120, folks. Let's get to 120. We're almost there. On my end, we're not there yet. Maybe we're there. Maybe I'm a little bit behind. But come on, someone give this show a like. Smash that like button. Get us to oh man. Yeah. All right. Well, so thank you guys. So again, this is the patron stream where I respond directly to the patrons. The replay of this stream will only be available on Patreon and on Rockfin. That's the only place this stream is posted. So it goes out live to everybody. But then the replay is only available on Patreon, which if you're thinking, Ron, I want to be a patron, patreon.com/Ron Placone. You get all kinds of perks. Hey, Ron, I heard one of the perks is that you make people theme songs. Yes, I do. How much does that cost? It's a give what you can level. Really, Ron? You only have 1 tier on your Patreon and it's give what you can? Yeah, that's it. You don't have like tiers where you have to give a certain amount a month to get a certain thing? No, I don't. My Patreon is give what you can, and that's the only tier. So I understand times are tough, and if you don't have anything to spare, I totally get it. Do not worry about it. Liking these videos, sharing these videos, making sure you're subscribed, that's awesome, and that helps the show so much. But for those of you who are on stable ground and think, hey, I got a little bit I could spare each month, whether it's $1 or whether it's more than that, it doesn't matter. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. I have a give what you can level. People told me I shouldn't do that, but I did it anyway, and it's been working out. I like it. I like having a tierless Patreon. It keeps it simple and it keeps it more communal. And obviously the Patreon, I wouldn't be able to do this show without the Patreon. So obviously it is essential to the show existing. But I also want to make the Patreon more like a community. And I figure the best way to do that is to have interactive things with the Patreon, streams like this, right? I mean, everything we talked about today was submitted by the patrons. None of this was stuff that I brought to the table. This was all everybody else, not me. I just responded to it. And, making people theme songs, getting to know people better, knowing a little bit about them by making them a theme song, that makes it more communal. And I feel like the best way to accomplish that community is by making it 1 tier and it's pay what you can. And it works out. The folks who have a little more means, they give a little more. And the folks who, do not have as much, but have $1 or $2 that they can spare, that's what they give. And either way, it's awesome. It's awesome. Because, those of you that have more to give and give it, like, that's amazing because you're helping out. You're helping out the show and you're helping out the people who can't afford to give as much. You get the idea. You know what I mean? And that just got me all excited for another for another sip of the mason jar. Some of y'all are saying that you loved your theme songs. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I've had a blast making them. And we have crossed 130 likes, folks. Thank you guys for your patience today. I know we've had some lagging issues today, which was a little weird. And then we had the false start. So I appreciate you all for your patience. I appreciate you bearing with me through this. And we'll be back with an official Get Your News On with Ron stream on Monday. And in the meantime, thank you so much to the patrons. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Pazimores. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you guys so much. You keep this show on the air. I hope you are all doing wonderful and awesome. And everybody, thank you so much for being part of this. An official Get Your News On with Ron stream will happen on Monday. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy, she says meow. And I say peace. Peace.